YouTube. In this video I want to talk a little bit about my lifting philosophy. You might have seen some of my lifts, you might have seen a lot of them, but you might not necessarily be able to understand the reasoning behind them and why I train like this. And I've received some questions telling me, but why do you do X lift when you're a bodybuilder? It doesn't make sense. Well, for me, my philosophy is I don't care the weight that's on the bar, and I don't care about what lift I'm doing. These two I really don't care. If I could get 30 inches legs doing squats with 200 pounds, I would. If I could get a big chest doing bench with only one plate, I would. It doesn't matter. If tomorrow you told me you have to pick between having a 500-pound bench and a big chest, I would pick the big chest. I don't care about strength. That being said, I want to make it clear that as a natural lifter, bodybuilder or not, the only way to get bigger is to get stronger. It doesn't mean that you need to have a 600-pound deadlift, but it does mean that you're going to have to progress at certain lifts to put on size. I personally am a big fan of the bench, squat, and deadlift. It doesn't mean that I think they're the best lifts, but I think that if you use them smartly enough, they can be a solid base for any bodybuilding program. And I think that most people who bodybuild should do these movements. The way I think about them is, you take one movement, you take the squat, all right? You're not going to just do squats. You are going to take all the variations of the squat and apply them to have the best results. So for example, if you do back squat, you're going to do some pose back squat, you're going to do some front squats, and you're going to do some box squats. You're going to play with these so that you can reach your goals. I think that a terrible idea, and that's something that has been popularized by powerlifting, sadly, is people who only do these three lifts, squat, bench, deadlift. This is a great way to get big because that's how I did it. It's also a great way to get injured, and you're gonna get injured if you only do these three lifts. That's why you need to also have accessories, variations of these lifts, and lifts that have nothing to do with it. So that's how I function. For my size and my experience, my lifts are bad. Not just mediocre, some of them are terrible. For example, my overhead press, I'm overhead pressing one plate. I'm 200 pounds, it's very weak, but I have big shoulders. So it doesn't bother me. I start putting effort into gaining strength if my size is not catching up. If it is, I don't really care. I've been squatting 365 pounds for a long time now, but my legs keep getting bigger. So I'm not going to change anything, it's working, right? If tomorrow they stop growing, I'm going to force them to push more weight so that I can stimulate growth. This is the way I think when I think about lifting. And to finish up the video, I'm going to talk about the most important thing that I always keep in my head when I lift. Form, technique. Who cares if there is 600 pounds on a bar? If you lift it improperly, you shouldn't be lifting it at all. It's better to lift 300 pounds with good forms than 500 pounds with poor form, because form is what's going to allow you to stay injury-free, never hurt yourself, to always be in control of the lift, and to always stimulate the muscles you want to stimulate. You will not see on this channel lifts with poor form. Why? Because if I'm doing, for example, a deadlift and I sense my form breaking down, I'm stopping, I'm putting the bar down. I do not want form breakdown. It has no plus side for bodybuilders, none. Sometimes for some of my lifts, you will see a little arrangement. For example, on the squat, I never fully lock my legs. Why? I want to keep tension on the leg. Overhead press, I never fully lock my elbows. Why? Because it's going to take away from the bottom of the lift, and the bottom of the lift is where you actually activate your shoulders the most, and I do overhead press for shoulder growth. I don't care about the tricep growth aspect. So I don't lock my elbows. This is how I lift, and this is how I'm going to keep lifting on this channel. If you have questions about my philosophy, something that I didn't talk about, please let me know in the comments. I'm happy to share that with you. And if you want to share your philosophy and how you approach things, please let me know and I'll give you an answer for sure. Have a good day.